Are you? I'm still in the Gold Coast, and now that I think the 3 planes that should be landing at Coolangatta within the next 10 minutes, or around this 10 minutes, have landed, and the dog's settled, and a few other things are sorted, I thought I'd just jump on and do a live because it's been a while since I've done a live. And if any of you jump on here right now, if you can just let me know, there's the beach and the water is just over behind me as well. So I just would love for one of you to just let me know if you can hear me. Okay, that would be really great. If it's really bad, then just let me know and I'll stop and redo inside. But so I wanted to talk today. I'll just wait another couple of seconds and see if another couple of people sort of jump on. But yeah, I wanted to talk today about a lot of the amazing people that I feel so blessed to be working with and to be around at present. There's another one of those planes is just about to land. It's all right. Tell me if it's an issue, but we'll stop. Oh, Erna, hi, lovely. And Maria, hi, lovely to have you here. What's been going on this last little bit is I'm around all these amazing people, and it just seems like the theme of this week is and Stuart's here, hi, and Hannah, she's here as well, and Jacqueline, hi, it's great to have you here. So there's been this bit of a theme in the people around me this week. We're all talking about adversity and dealing with adversity. That's awesome. Hi, Maria. And thank you, Erina, just for that feedback that you can hear loud and clear. That's great. Awesome. Hi, Melissa. We've all been talking about adversity this week and dealing with adversity and how to do that. Because there's this thing, I think, that happens for leaders that it's not necessarily easy when you decide you're going to run a business, when you decide you're going to step up and stand for something in the world and have a public message and you're going to speak that to the world. It's not always so easy, even though we watch people on stage sometimes, and we watch people like Tony Robbins. I watch people like Marcus and Andy when I work with them. They get on stage. I work with other people who I just watch them do videos, and even people, my clients say this to me all the time. It's like, oh, it looks so easy when you speak. But it's not. It's not necessarily always so easy to get to a point where you feel confident and comfortable enough that you can back yourself, back your message, and put yourself out there. And the challenges that you have to go through sometimes are definitely not easy, right? So I'm just going to preface this to, hello, Kylie, who've just joined as well, and Shalimar. Hi, it's great to have you here. I'm just going to preface this by saying, you know what, when I run these, I'm also very intuitively sensitive. So sometimes I get a bit of a sense of when this can be something that comes up, can be a little bit like triggering, or, you know, maybe sometimes it could be my projection, but sometimes it's also I can literally feel the people who are receiving this and how you're receiving this. So before I go into this, I was just going to sort of say, just know that I'm holding you with a lot of love right now. And sending you a lot of love, because what I'm about to talk about, it may sort of trigger some people. So just know that I'm sending this with a lot of compassion. I know some of you have journeyed some of this with me, so I'm also holding you in my heart with a lot of love as well. But I think there's fundamentally 3 steps on the journey that we go through in the journey of coming into our power as leaders. There's kind of 3 phases that we sort of go through. And this is just as much, it's the same for when we go through adversity as when we're stepping into our leadership power. And sometimes, at times, when we've been through stuff or when we face a challenge, it's sometimes easy to fall down in the face of that, and sometimes we have to. Sometimes it is easy to get a bit poor me-ish, and sometimes we're just exhausted because we've been through a lot. You know, we've got a lot of stuff, we're trying to build a business, or if a health thing happens or whatever the thing is, and sometimes we have to fall down. But sometimes it's also when stuff gets really intense, like sometimes there are times when we need to step away or withdraw for a bit and go away. So that can be part of one of the phases of, when we face adversity and when we face challenges, public speaking challenges, and the next hurdle in our businesses. Just wanted to say a little hi to Karina, and David, hi to you as well. Great to have you here. And just while we have another of those planes just going over as well, being a little bit louder. I love being here, it's great. But yeah, so that can be one of the phases that we go through, is we kind of, sometimes we need to withdraw a little bit. And Lord knows that I have, at times when stuff's happened, done the withdrawing thing. And then the next phase is when we come back into our power and we get ready to fire up and embrace a challenge, there's the rising to it. And if part of the challenge that we've run from, if it is like, if it's been like a confrontation or it's been something with someone, then there's this phase where we go through where it's like the pushing back against the energy and learning to, and you hear this in a lot of motivational speeches, the energy of it as well, right? When they're talking about boxers and fighting and embracing your fight and showing up for the fight and finding that part of you, this is a part of that. And I know for me in my healing journey, when I was healing from a lot of my abuse stuff, like there was stages where I was in workshops where I literally, we did sort of transpersonal exercises where I was standing up to the people and physically squaring up to them and doing that pushback energy back until I felt like I could stand up for myself and stand in that energy, not just like be it, not just think about it, but actually in my whole body hold that energy so you can kind of like, you can meet and match the challenges that are coming at you, right? That's one phase of it. That's the second phase of it. And then I think the third phase of it is the phase where you come into realizing that you actually, by being you and just being in your truth and being you and being in your heart and being love, you are powerful already. And you do have exactly all the internal resources and the tools and the abilities within you already to meet that challenge, to embody what you have to in order to be what you have to in your business, in order to take the next step up and engage in the next phase. We have that. We do have that. And the other part of that as well, with whatever comes up in that journey, sometimes if it has been, you know, if it's like it's a challenge that involves someone else and there's a trauma there or something like that, it's learning to be with that with love, with compassion, with empathy for that as well, right? I know that, you know, there's a lot of talk around about sometimes, you know, when there's negative people around us, it's like part of the thing is that we're told is to like, well, get rid of that, push that away. But I think the thing, and this is what this step is about as well, this is learning to actually be with it with love. It's learning to be with that. It's learning to be with what comes up with inside us with love, learning how to be with our own trauma, our own anger, our own everything that we go through with love and compassion. That's part of it. But also learning to be with the other people involved who trigger us, who maybe when there's something that we feel like something's been done to us or whatever it is, it's learning to be with that with love and compassion and presence and empathy as well, and then find a way through that. And that's kind of the third phase, is like finding the ability to just be present with it but not fall into reacting with it, just be with it with love. And by virtue of just being able to be us and be embodied in our truth in that, then we are powerful. Yeah? So that's kind of the third phase. And so many of the great leaders out there who have done amazing things and built empires in their businesses. You might have seen earlier, I was just writing a post about Louise Hay, bless her, and the amazing journey that she'd been on and the empire that she built, which kind of brings Wayne Dyer to mind as well. Also Tony Robbins comes to mind as well as another great leader, and the thing that all of them have in common, as well as, and great acknowledgement to all my beautiful, amazing mentors and so many of the practitioners and leaders that are around me in all the systems that I'm in, because we've all faced challenges and we've all had to do this same thing. And in order to be successful, in order to meet that challenge, like we have to do those three phases. Wayne Dyer, Louise Hay, Tony Robbins, the older they've got, as they've reflected on their experiences and what they went through in their younger lives, because Louise Hay went through incredible abuse. Wayne Dyer grew up in an orphanage, but yet he had at the end of his life, this incredibly positive reframe of a story on it. And Tony Robbins also has been through some incredible family stuff. Yet it's not that it was all ease and grace for them to now get to the places that they're at. They had to go through every single one of them. And this is the other thing as well. Like, there's a lot of stuff that gets around about the New Cage movement, right? And the positive only thing being bad. But I think it gets really misinterpreted, because it's not about being positive only. It's not about only being part of yourself and doing spiritual bypass and abandoning this whole other part of ourselves. Every single one of those people, and I've had to do this too, and I know a lot of leaders have, it's not about running away from those traumas. It's about going headlong into, as they did, as Louise did, as Tony Robbins did. They went head to head into that trauma. They dropped into it. They confronted their shadow. They went head to head with the demons, and they had conversations with them. They got out and they owned their anger and their grief and all their stuff, but they also learned to be compassionate with it. They also learned to bring love to it. And for all those people that did tremendously horrid things to them that led to things like Louise Hay's cancer, contributed to it, I'm not going to say caused it, but she believed in her belief. They came to this with love and empathy, and started to look at it from a standpoint of, okay, what is there for me to learn in this, and how did these people become the way that they became, that this happened? How did they get to that? And then they started to ask questions about their stories, and they discovered that their family had been through the most horrendously traumatic stuff themselves. And so they started to develop more empathy and this understanding, well, of course they're messed up because they've been through this horrendous stuff, so how would they know how to do any better? And then it flipped from being like them being in trauma and being in all this anger and stuck in it, to them being able to have this compassion that they've never had before, which doesn't make anything that happened okay. It's not justifying it, but it just allowed them to shift perspective and come into a place where they could be present with the people that they had been through this stuff with love, and they could just sit in their hearts with this, and they could be present with it with love, without having to run away from it, without having to push it away from it anymore. They could just be love and just be present. And that's part of the thing that really helped them get their power back and helped them step into their power, into their leader power as well. Because then once they dealt with that, then anyone who was a client who came up to them afterwards, who was going through a similar thing, they could also be present with love to those people, to everything that they were going through, right? But the other thing that happens is if you withdraw and if you go away for a time, that you don't get away from it either, right? They probably all found, and I know I'd played this one out for me too at times, like you can go away, but you won't outrun the lesson necessarily. It might be in the next 3 clients that come to you. It might be in the next lover that comes to you. It might be in the next... What was that bunny? What was that bunny? Oh, something just fell on the roof there for a second. It might be in the next, it might be in the next business situation or whatever the thing is. It could be the thing falling on your roof, whatever it is. It has a way of coming back to us until there's a question that we stop and ask instead, right? And that question, and this is part of what I wanted the takeaway to be from today's live, is that you can run away, you can say, why me? You can scream, fuck you, or you can say, poor me, or you can stop and you can say, thank you, what do you have to teach me? And that's part of the thing that really shifts situations and that helps us really step into our power as leaders, when we can ask in any given situation, what is it that I'm going to learn from this situation? What can I learn from this situation that's going to help me grow and go to the next level? That's the thing that really shifts our perspective on life and helps us really grow through it and keep going as leaders and keep growing to the next level. That's an incredibly powerful perspective to have. So instead of poor me, thank you, please teach me. So that's what I want. That's pretty much what I wanted to share with you all today. Let me just check for your comments here. Oh, Mans and Anna. Oh, you've joined us as well. Hi, ladies. So great to see you here. I hope there's been some wisdom or insights in this for you. Hello, Rachel. Thanks, Nat, for sharing your beautiful insight. Got to head off now. No worries, love. Thank you for being here. I hope that it helped in some way. And David says, good message, Nat. Embrace the challenges. Hell yeah, buddy. Absolutely. This is the thing, finding our strength. If we're going to lead, we got to embody. We've got to embody all this stuff. And, you know, I'm certainly trying to do that with everything I'm teaching right now. So thank you all for joining us today. Maria says thank you as well. No worries. No worries. Been a pleasure to be with you all today. And, yeah, that's it. Wishing you all lots of love. Hope you have a wonderful day. Feel free to, if you see this later, pop a comment below. And I will keep the chat going with you if you have any insights or there's anything that you want to share. And feel free to, share it if you think that you know of anyone who might benefit from this insight as well, if it might help them. Hannah says thank you as well. No worries, babe. Love you. Beautiful to have you here. SJ just joined. Hi, SJ. Beautiful to have you. I'm taking and extending upon some of the beautiful, amazing wisdom you've been sharing in terms of how we need to step up, love, how to journey through. So thank you for inspiring me to share some more stuff this last couple of days. You're awesome. And hi, Lee, as well. I'm just finishing up, love, but feel free to watch the replay. And I hope you are really well. I look forward to chatting to you more soon as well. I'm going to private message you and say hi. That's it, loves. Thank you so much for watching. I send you so much love and look forward to chatting soon. Mwah! Bye.